What's going on, everyone? Chris from PickDawgz.com here with your morning show. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Smaller card today. Still only got 2 games from the NBA, from the NBA Cup. 2 teams have moved on. 2 have gone home. Our 4 Raptors are done. But we've also got decent college hoops card today. And we've got some NHL action as well. But I know it's a small card, but I got one of the best handicappers with me on the PickDawgz roster to help me break it down. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing great today. Yeah, looking forward to bouncing back after. Yeah, I was on your Raptors yesterday, hoping that all that home cooking and a cup game would get them to roll, but maybe that injury to RJ Barrett might be a little much here for this Raptors team, who I really like their roster coming in, but they just hit a cold streak here.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's peaks and valleys over the course of a full season. So teams are gonna be struggling. Teams are gonna go through it. The Raptors are a young team, but still, I think they're gonna be a team that's gonna be fine down the stretch. But yeah, I had the Raptors yesterday, and I got snake bit on a couple teams, but cashed the college hoops play of the day with Indiana. It was just a woodshedding. I'll tell you, there's a couple Big Ten teams this season have just been rolling through teams. Michigan's another one I had yesterday, and they just rolled over Villanova.
It wasn't by 40 though. So
no, yeah, it was only a mediocre 28, but
that's it. A little
regression
there from Michigan.
Yeah, that's horrible by Michigan standards, I think. But
yeah,
they've surprised me this season. I mean, was it now 5 straight wins by like 20 plus, and they were all against teams inside the top 100. Something like that.
I'm trying to remember this dominance in the. I know they had a game against Rutgers, but this dominance in the non-conference. We saw UConn do that, right? They were dominant a few years ago in the non-conference, but then when they got in the conference play, the game started to get close. But we'll see what happens when Michigan plays the likes of Illinois, Ohio State, Purdue. We'll even throw UCLA in there, but we'll see what happens when we get into more conference action. Although Big Ten has started early with these conference games.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. I think usually two conference games in December, and then they play the rest of it in the new year. But yeah, if you take out that Rutgers game, 4 straight wins over top 50 teams by 40, 30, 40, and 28. Michigan's going to be dangerous this year, for sure. But we still got a long way to go before we have to break that down. But I see a lot of people talking about Texas in the chat, going to the Cheez-It Bowl, and
yeah, well, Alabama got in. I mean, I think that's what happens when you start the narrative going against Notre Dame. Then Alabama drops the game. Oops, it was Miami and Alabama getting those last couple of spots there for the at-large. So maybe Sarkisian should have stopped worrying so much about Notre Dame, and maybe look at some of the other teams that he had to jump over.
Well, I think it's the whole case was made that why schedule up if it's not going to matter? Well, you can't have it both ways, because you want it to count back in 2023 when you go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama in your last year in the Big 12, but then you lost to Ohio State. While that wasn't the be all and end all, it was still the loss to Florida that did him in. It was a bad loss, but it's there's always going to be contention. There's always going to be debate. There's always going to be people that aren't happy. I'm just happy that Notre Dame's getting heat for calling it out on or for mailing it in on college on the on bowl season, for deciding, well, we're not going to play in a bowl game. Marcus Freeman picking up his ball and taking it home.
Yeah, I don't like that, especially when you got these media partners. Although NBC is not part of the bowl coverage, so again, they're one of the few teams that could care less because they'll get some TV exposure. Will be ESPN, although again, ESPN gives them a good spotlight. They set up that nice primetime window for Notre Dame. Seems all the time they're going to be the featured game, whether they're not on their home network, but they're on ESPN, CBS, or whatever. They get a pretty good primetime slot.
Yeah, like I said, I think that I don't know. I think that it just looks like sour grapes when that's how you handle it. But again, Notre Dame caught the flack. Well, I shouldn't say they don't need to hear more about it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give teams shit. I'm here to complain. Because no one else will listen. You guys will listen because you're still tuned in, but that's what I'm here for.
Great. Chris has got that Morton Salt just making it, emptying it out in that wound.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my sodium level is high. I need to get rid of it. Some of it on Notre Dame. Retaining water. I need to get rid of some of this salt. But
yeah.
But anything else kind of stuck in your craw over the last week, Tony? I haven't seen you in a week, so.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking at this NFL, looking at the Dolphins' resurgence here. Almost a win away from a 500 team. Who would have saw that coming, right? And of course, the schedule makers here. It's funny when we added that extra game. That meant an extra game for the first place teams to play first place teams out of conference, and the same thing for the last place teams to play. That's why the NFL is upside down this year. The bad teams got easier schedules, and I think you start to see the scheduling here as you add more games to the schedule. It makes it tougher and tougher now for these first place teams bouncing back the following year, facing all these first place teams in the NFL.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just you can never count anyone out. I mean, unless you're the Raiders, but this is still. It feels like there's so many teams that we're out of the race that are all of a sudden back in it, and now you can't necessarily write off the Colts. They've got a quarterback in Phillip Rivers coming back in, so it's crazy. But
I'm hearing people say, "Well, Phillip Rivers is going to be slow." He's always been slow when he played quarterback. He just stands in the pocket, takes a look. I said, those 5 years. That's how long it took for him to heal his body.
Yeah, I think this comment says it best. He just got tired of being at home with his 26 kids.
Yeah, and when you have 26 kids, that means you're going to have 60 grandkids. So,
yeah, a lot of Christmas presents. So you got to go out and get that paycheck. You got to get one more paycheck, but no, but it's going to be interesting to see. And I think there's still like a 2 touchdown underdog, despite having a quarterback, at least a reputable quarterback. I get it. He hasn't played since 2021, but I don't know. From what I've heard, he's still got it. So.
Well, he was coaching his kid, right? His kid is going to get into how many kids is he going to have? It's going to be like more than like Manning's, right? His kid, I think he's got one kid that's going to hit college pretty soon. I think he was coaching his kid, right? So he's been around the game, a high school game at least.
I don't know. I think he'll still be able to go, but we're gonna have to see. But
well, Carson Palmer, Carson Palmer was coaching one of the big high school teams here. First year won state championship. So maybe Carson Palmer maybe see somebody you see in head coaching ranks here in college or in pros soon, because that seems to be the direction he wants to go.
Well, only time's going to tell, right? Only time's going to tell if he's going to be able to put it all together.
And they want him to be the next USC coach. High school championship, major high school. It was the top division here in college, in high school football here. He took his team to won the state championship. So
yeah. Well, is that the status of USC football?
It is.
Now they're after a high school coach.
Sadly.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of maybe where we're at, but you know what? if it works, it works. But that says more, I think, about Lincoln Riley than it does about the state of USC football if they have to bring in a high school coach. But we'll see. But I'm getting into it. We got 4 games from the NHL today. We got to break down. We've got the thing switched on me and I wasn't even paying attention. There we go. We got the Chicago Blackhawks at home against the New York Rangers, an original 6 matchup there. We got the Calgary Flames taking on the Detroit Red Wings. We've got the Utah Mammoth taking on the Florida Panthers, and the Seattle Kraken taking on the LA Kings. Tony, any of these 4 NHL matchups do anything for you?
Yeah, I like one here. I like one game here. I like the over in Detroit and Calgary. You know, when these teams, this is one of those out-of-conference games, so you probably see them once or twice a year. And what we've seen this year from Detroit is an over trend when they face teams out of their conference. 8-3 of the overs this year facing the West. And, of course, looking at Calgary, 7-3 to the over facing the East. So you don't know a whole lot about these teams, and you play them once or twice a year. So we've seen some high-scoring games as well. As a matter of fact, both teams averaging 3.5 goals when they play out-of-conference games this year. And we're looking here at Detroit giving up almost 3 goals a game when they face these opponents. So I'll look at the over in that one.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with in that same game. I'm going to go with the Flames. Not to, make a dad joke, but the Flames are hot right now. They're playing very well at the moment. Detroit, they just took advantage of 2 teams that were in sort of favorable spots, 2 teams that were struggling in Vancouver and Seattle. And I don't know if that's going to bode well for here against a Flames team that's caught fire right now. So for me, I just think this is a spot where, the Calgary Flames can defend home ice, get the job done once again. So I'm going to roll with Calgary on the money line in that one. But we'll move on. Everybody knows, or I've said it before, when I host these shows, you guys know we get you guys in and out with the plays fairly quickly. And this game today's going to be no different. Let's see here. We're going to move on to college hoops. That's not college hoops. That's the NBA. Where is it here? There we go. So we've got decent number of games today on the card, but we got some headliner ones here. We've got starting at 12 Eastern. We've got Baylor laying a huge number against Norfolk State. We've got Albany taking on Yale. Where am I here? There we go. Yale laying 17.5 at home. We got Princeton taking on Merrimack. We've got UNC Asheville, no longer Cashville, taking on Miami, Ohio. We've got FAU. Oh, no, I got thrown off by the logo there. That's a subdivision game. USF in Charleston. USF laying 14.5. We've got NJIT, also known as SHIT, 2.5-point home dogs against New Haven. As far as that program falling. Marshall against Western Kentucky. Got one of the headliner games for me, VCU in New Mexico. We got Notre Dame, Idaho. Boston U in Maine. Purdue, Minnesota. NC State, Liberty. Got St. Bonaventure and Colgate. We got UMass and Boston College. Iona, Bryant. George Washington and Delaware. And Fordham and Fairleigh Dickinson. So, Tony, anything up to 7 p.m. Eastern? Anything you like here?
Yeah, a couple of them. I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with Baylor. These teams seem to play every year in the non-conference. Seems like this degenerate time slot, too. I think Baylor's just too athletic. And when you look at how many points they're putting up at home and they're coming off a loss, I see this to be a smash spot here where they can take out that loss they had at Memphis here on this Norfolk State team. When you look at Baylor here, they're putting up about 95 points a game at home. They're hitting 54% of their shots. You look at Norfolk, they really lack size and experience playing together. Baylor is 12th in the nation in offensive efficiency. Norfolk putting up just 58 points a game. They'll struggle to get, I think they'll struggle to get 50 here against Baylor. I see this as a total smash with Baylor looking to bounce back from that loss there. I'll take them in this spot. Also, I like the points with New Mexico. You know, the Mountain West is a pretty good conference. I think it's a little disrespectful for the Mountain West to get 99 with this Lobos team. Lobos defense has been pretty good form over the past month, allowing just 40% shooting, 31% from three. You're going to get good defense from a Mountain West team here. So I like this game to be close. I'm not going to bet them to win. I'm going to take them with those 9 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Yale here. Lay the big number. The other sort of island game early on. The thing with Albany is that Albany's just been getting crushed this season. They've had 7 games where they've taken the loss. 6 of them have come by double digits, including 5 by more than 18 points. They've yet to beat a Division I team this season. They just lost to another Ivy League in Columbia by 28 points in their last game. The problem for Albany in this game is that, this is a Yale team that shoots a lot from behind the arc. They can shoot well from three-point range, 44.8% from three. They're the 3rd best free throw shooting team in the country. Yale, top 100 at getting to the line, and Albany just inside the top 300 in free throw rate allowed. So I think that Yale's going to score it well here. I think Yale wins this one by 20 plus. So I like the Bulldogs there. And looking through the rest of the early action, I'm going to take Liberty here plus the 13. This is a veteran Liberty team, one of the most experienced teams in the country. I don't think they're going to be afraid to go on the road to take on NC State. This is a game where there's going to be a lot of three-point variance. Liberty shoots one of the highest three-point rates in the country, and they make them at a high rate. Now, NC State good at challenging on the perimeter, but 13 for me is just too much to give up to Liberty here. I think NC State wins this one by 9 or 10 points. So I'll take Liberty plus the 13 points in that one. But we move on to sort of the rest of the time. So we also had Minnesota, Purdue in there as well. But we've got, let me put this up here. This is more accurate. We got Tulsa, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. We got Kansas City, the Roos catching 6.5 at home against Weber State. Houston laying a measly 40.5 at home against Jackson State. We got Southern Illinois, the Salukis, laying 8 at home against UT Martin. Utah Valley laying 11.5 at home against Idaho State. Purdue Fort Wayne laying 3 at home against Eastern Michigan. Eastern Illinois, Eastern Kentucky. We got Texas State Southern. Boise State Duquesne. We got Nebraska Wisconsin. Nebraska laying 2 at home, Big Ten play. We got San Diego State Lamar and Cal State Northridge and Fresno State to round things out. Tony, what do you like here?
Yeah, I like one in this Big 10 battle here with Nebraska and Wisconsin. I'm going to take the home team Cornhuskers here to lay it. They're undefeated this year. Pretty good at home this season as well. Experienced team. They shoot and defend well inside, 35% from three. We're looking at Wisconsin here. They've struggled at defending the threes. And you look at their past month, they're hitting just 44%. I'll look at Nebraska at this short price.
Yeah, I like Nebraska there too. I think Big Ten home court is going to be a thing once again this year. But I'm going to go with Weber State laying the 6.5 against Kansas City. I think Kansas City is one of the bottom 20 teams in the country. They can't score. They don't play defense. Weber State, I think, for a team that, is 4-5 straight up, 0-4 on the road, laying 6.5, I think tells you everything you need to know for this game. I think Kansas City's going to get destroyed in this one. So I'll lay it with Weber State. And I'm also going to take the 8 points with UT Martin against Southern Illinois. I might sprinkle on the money line here with UT Martin. Southern Illinois coming off the big win over, another marquee mid-major in High Point. UT Martin this season has already picked up a couple of signature road dog wins over UNLV, Bradley. They also went toe-to-toe with Florida State. They got the cover in that game as well. UT Martin's no joke. And I think that Southern Illinois, they said maybe a little bit fat and happy after that High Point win. I think that UT Martin going to keep this one close. I like the 8 points with the Skyhawks in that one. And Yeah, I see a comment saying why this Wisconsin games get so much attention. I think Wisconsin's good this year. They got a good transfer from San Diego State and Nick Boyd. They also have taken the losses at oh god, they got blown out by somebody. BYU earlier this year. They lost to TCU, but they also kicked the crap out of Providence. They beat Northwestern and Marquette by double digits. So I don't know. I think it's a decent game. And I think Nebraska is going to be good once again. So I think it's a good game. But it's one of the lone conference games, like Big Ten games on a Wednesday slate where there's not a whole lot of other big time matchups. So, but we'll move on to our final spot, the NBA Cup tonight. We've got the Western Conference now getting the shine. We've got OKC laying 14.5 at home against the Suns, and we got the Lakers laying 7 at home against the San Antonio Spurs. Tony, either one of these get any love from you for the time slot tonight?
Yeah, the one I like here in this time slot is the over in the Suns and Thunder here. When you look here at this Thunder team, just in fantastic shooting form over the past 2 weeks, 53%, 42% for three, put up 124 points a game. The Suns are not in really good defensive form right now. Giving up over 51% shooting over the past 2 weeks. They've been winning some shootouts of late. OKC has gone over in 4 of their past 5. And I like the over in that one. I like the Lakers over, last night, but not now with this line move. We've seen this line move jump considerably. I thought we saw 4.5, then to 5.5, and then right now sitting at 7.5. To me, and I don't like the total's too high, 240.5 for me to play. So to me, Spurs, Lakers, you can't bet the Lakers when you could get 4.5 or 5 overnight. So to me, there's a no play there.
Yeah, this was 4.5 when I did the video for it yesterday, but now it's jumped up to 7. I like the Spurs even more at that number. I think this is. I think it goes back to the point that I made, even though it wasn't the right call with the Raptors yesterday. I think it's still the base of the argument for the NBA Cup is that you have a lot of these teams that maybe aren't necessarily ready to contend for a championship now, and this NBA Cup gives them, something to compete for right now. And we've also seen it be used as a launching pad for younger teams in the NBA. We saw it for the Indiana Pacers. I think we could see it for the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, yes, this is a Spurs team that's still without Wemby, but they've admittedly been playing well without Wemby for the last little bit. So I think this is a spot cover 7. I like the points here with the Spurs. I think I'm leaning towards the points here with the Suns as well. I think that, this is, well, I should say, as long as you can get Devin Booker in the fold, but even then, maybe the under might be the play there. Devin Booker listed as questionable at last check. Let me see if I can just get a quick.
Yeah, he's got that groin injury he suffered on December 1st, and it's been already 9 days, and still he's going to be probably a game time decision here. It looks like to me.
I'll say this: if Devin Booker plays, I'll lean Suns plus the point. If he doesn't, it's a no play for me because I could honestly see them getting their teeth kicked in without him. So, if Booker doesn't go, it's a no play. But if he does, I lean towards the Suns. But again, do they want to take the chance because of how easy it is to tweak a groin injury? I'm not so sure. So, but I like the Spurs. I think if I was to pick a side in either one of these 2 games, but
I'll tell you this: if Booker doesn't go, you might look at some props for Colin Gillespie. He's been the one late bloomer that has been actually putting some points up there. We've seen guys like Nickeil Alexander. Some examples, some of these guys that have late bloomed here where they're starting to show some form, but Colin Gillespie's been somebody who's actually hitting the scoring column this year.
Yeah, I might look for 3 props, like the props for 3s between Gillespie and Grayson Allen. And those are the 2 I would kind of look for if Booker doesn't play.
Phoenix will be in chase mode, likely, right? So they're going to have to launch.
But that does it. I mean, like I said, we normally have smaller or quicker shows when I'm hosting because we get right to it before you guys get right to the plays. But Tony, despite the smaller card, we still got all our favorite plays over at PickDawgz Premium. What do you got on the board over today?
Yeah, I got my favorite play of the day up there right now, best bet. So get on board with me over at Pick Dawgz. Of course, the long-term subscriptions are the way to go. We're going to have a lot of football tomorrow. Of course, we get the weekend as well with NFL. So get on board with me over at Pick Dawgz and match me up with your favorite capper with the multi-cap promotion and get on board.
Yeah, definitely check Tony out over at PickDawgz Premium. One of the best in the business to do it. But for me, today I've got a bunch of plays on the board. I got my college basketball big play. Like I said, we smashed that with Indiana yesterday. Also got that as part of my college hoops 5-pack. I got an NHL play of the day on there as well as an NHL 3-pack. Like Tony said, the best way to jump on board is to get a long-term pass. Remember to use that promo code PICK at checkout, get 15% off your purchase. You can pair me up with Tony. You can pair either one of us up with anyone else at the website. But we're going to be making you some money heading into the holiday season. This is a great way to get a lot of those gifts paid for. So definitely make sure that y'all check that out. But Tony's that part of the show. It's parlay time. Parlay. What do you have? What do you like for a parlay today?
Parlay, I like the over in the Red Wings and Flames. I'll parlay it with the New Mexico plus the points as well with Nebraska.
All right. I'll go with San Antonio plus the points. I'll go with let's go with Yale laying the big number and Nebraska at home as well.
There you go.
All right. Quick show, in and out. Like I said, get you guys the plays, especially if you're looking to bet that Baylor-Norfolk State game at the top of the hour. But, like I said, you can find all of our best bets over at PickDawgz Premium. Check out all the content that we've got over at the website and at our YouTube channel. The wraparound is up for you guys. I'm sure Jay's going to have the jam session up. All the daily videos. You can check out all the content that Tony's got. And, all the written content at the website as well. Check out the betting tools. And remember to use the promo code at the website, PickDawgz Premium, for any of us. Not just me or Tony, but any of the cappers at the website get 15 off. But, Tony, any final words before we head out of here?
Yeah, there's a media report here from a guy who works in a television station who's pretty close to things. Says that the Dodgers have an offer for Skubal, and it's just waiting for the owner of the Detroit Tigers to sign off on it. So it's going to piss off baseball even more if the owner signs off on the deal. It looks like a bunch of prospects for Skubal. Just to remind everybody here, Skubal is on a 2-year contract, but he can walk in the final year. So basically, and of course with Burris's clients, they always elect free agency there and opt out of the last year of the contract. So realistically, Skubal is on an expiring contract. It's kind of how you way to look at it. And he could walk at the end of this next season. So hold your horses. It's going to piss the entire world off here if this goes down. But winter meetings right now in baseball, and not only the Dodgers get the best reliever available, and probably could get the best pitcher in baseball, or in blue. Not Toronto blue, but Dodger blue.
They got the best reliever available? Who?
Edwin Diaz.
No, that's what I'm saying. Who? Who?
Available in free agency. Well, you like Suarez better? He was the one available.
Oh, God, I don't like either one of them.
You don't like any of the relievers out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Boros is behind the scenes, right? Because he's trying to make this happen. Because his clients always walk on their walk year. So realistically, you have to look at Skubal on an expiring contract next season.
That's true. I just want the Jays to go out and get Kyle Tucker.
What do you think about Dylan Cease? That seems like a little much to pay him. I don't know. I thought that was a lot because, all of us had followed it, not just look at the stats. Because in high leverage situations, to me, Cease is the guy that folds under pressure. That's what I look at.
Yeah, but they wanted another high level starter with, Scherzer probably not coming back, Bassett not coming back. So now your rotation is, Gausman, Savage, Bieber, Cease, and Barrios. I'm fine with that. It is a big number. Don't get me wrong, but I think it was also a statement to the rest of the league, like, hey, we're not messing around anymore. We're coming out and paying players. So I'm fine with it. Just do something with it. That's all I ask.
You got four World Series gates. And when you multiply that by 50,000 times about $1,200 a ticket, that's a lot of money Toronto made in those 4 home dates.
Oh yeah, trust me. I saw the price of some of those tickets. Yeah, trust me. Still washing away the tears outside the Rogers Center. Anyways, thank you all for joining us. Appreciate each and every one of you for sticking with us today. Small card, but we got you there. So definitely, like I said, make sure to check out all the content, and we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Do it all again. Best of luck.
Okay, see you guys.